my god. Cheater rages while cheating, cheat rages, ref catches, cheater cheating, raging, rage cheating. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. I am your runner.
And this is Bill from Project Mayhem Airsoft.
And we're going to talk about player conduct on the field, calling other people's hits for them, or declaring cheaters out on your local field.
AKA how not to be a dick.
Let's get into the video. So, out at our local field this last weekend, we noticed that there was kind of something that tends to ruin the day for both of us. Whether it happens to us or it happens just around us, it's just one of those things that gets really irritating and we wanted to talk about. And this is calling other people's hits for them. In fact, one of the field rules on the field that we play at is don't call other people's hits. In fact, if a ref or field marshal, whatever term you prefer, hears you call someone else's hit, they will eject you from the game. Just so you guys know, for our field, proper conduct is if you see somebody not calling their hits and it's really bad, you're not to talk to them on the field or try to solve it yourself. You're actually supposed to go get a field marshal, address it to them, and have them monitor the player for the while and address the issue. So there's going to be a gameplay video coming up, and I originally was going to do half commentary, half like gameplay video, and it was going to mess with the flow of the gameplay. So here's what happened. I was out on the field engaging with this other player, and it wasn't a very long engagement. The guy peeks a corner, I peek a corner. I see BBs come out of the barrel of his gun. I duck back. I hear some BBs ping off the cover around me. I peek back around, pull a couple shots off, and hit him. The guy then gets mad at me and says, "Hey, guy behind the tin, that's BS. I shot you," so on and so forth. I was like, "Hey, dude, I didn't feel the BB. You didn't hit me. I didn't feel it at all or hear to see it anywhere on me." He then tells me that's BS, then proceeds to light me up after that. And my response to this should have been, "Field Marshal, help me out here," and I didn't do that. My response was actually worse. My response was, "Dude, I'm wearing cameras, we can look at the footage," which then kind of pissed the guy off enough and he went back to his spawn. There's a lot of things wrong in that and field rules that I broke as well as this other player broke. Neither one of us were in the right in this situation. But it comes back to the understanding that when you're on the field, you have to treat other players as you want to be treated on the field. If you want to be treated as an honorable player on the field, you've got to look at all your other players out there. So this guy says he shot me. I went through video footage. I actually posted an apology because I found footage that looked like a BB strike at first glance. And then when I went through the video frame by frame, it was actually glare off of my faux rounds in the game. I can post that footage if anybody else wants to see that to show that I'm not lying. But I couldn't see between the three camera angles a BB that came in that could have hit me. But what I should have done is either called for a field marshal or just said, "You know what, dude, yeah, you can have this one," and walked away and just not antagonize the person on the field. This was my fault. It started when the guy called my hit. This causes a lot of problems on the field. It definitely put a sour taste in my mouth for the rest of the day. I really couldn't get back into it because I was even questioning myself. Did he hit me? Was I being I couldn't think of, was I not paying attention? What happened? And that's kind of that situation in a nutshell. And Bill here had some situations that he saw on the field the same day.
Well, to iterate on what you said, when people get frustrated or people get frustrated at somebody, their first response normally is fight fire with fire, which is about what you did, not to the same extent that other player did, and that just, things escalate and escalate and escalate, and that's how you end up with people lighting people up for no reason, and 98% of the videos you see on YouTube about cheaters. We'll get into that later. But,
yeah, that's going to be something we're going to discuss later.
But after Royce paid for a half day, I went for a full day. After Royce went home, and I was running the RPK again, so, only one camera, because there's no rails on those whatsoever. But I was in behind a piece of cover, and our friend Phil was behind me. He is also a field marshal when he's not playing. And there was a guy in front of me on the other side of one of the roads, also with a sniper rifle. And I'm getting hit because there's two of us in one spot, so we're getting shot at. I'm behind like half a fence that's only 3 foot tall, so I'm scrunched down. And I hear the player go, "Hey dude, call your hit." About that loud. Not as much as the guy can't hear him, he's shooting at because it's a sniper, but I straight up said to him, I'm like, "Hey, it's one of the field rules not to call anybody else's hit." And then I was backed up on that fact, and it's just
backed up by
Phil.
By Phil, the field marshal.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
He wasn't being a field marshal at that point.
Well, he was marshaling at that point, but he does work at the field, and the refs, even while they're playing, they do still have the ability to be refs in game.
Yeah, but there's always that one person. "Oh, I swear I hit that guy. Oh, he didn't call his hits." Just if something happens, don't assume it was on purpose.
And that goes back to like what I said in the intro is, or at least maybe not the intro, but the start of the commentary is treat other players as honorably as you think you are on the field. Like, if you think that you've called every single hit that you have ever taken in, and which I'm telling, it is absolutely impossible. I watched videos online of YouTubers saying there's a damn good chance I got shot in and somebody was recording it and I didn't call it because I didn't feel it, or they hit me a piece of gear or whatever. Like, nobody will ever be able to call 100% of every single BB that ever hits them ever. And if you don't recognize that about yourself, realizing that if you're in a dead run or a BB comes in at a weird angle at a really low FPS from really far away, or somebody's lobbing it in, or whatever the situation may be, however honorable you think you are, treat other players that same way. You can go back on several videos. I'm not going to say which, but there are videos that I have on my channel. I will not call out cheaters. Again, going back to our field rule, we don't call other players hits, and that stands on the field and in our videos. So you can go back in my videos and you can see a couple of instances, not many, but a couple, where I definitely hit people. And I know this because I went frame by frame because I was curious at the end of the day. But I didn't go up to that player at the end and say, "Oh, I hit you," or "Oh, I shot you," or no. I was like, "Man, I can't believe I didn't get you." And I did, but again, certain instances, oh well, whatever. You don't call other players hits. What this does is when you call somebody else's hit and you're saying, "Hey, you're not honorable," and you're handling it yourself on the field, right? "Hey, buddy, call your hit." No. You shoot at somebody, you know for a fact that you've laid a few in it. "Hey, field marshal," or you get, you make sure recognize the guy. "Hey, field marshal," when you go back to respawn, "Hey, I see this player. Man, I'm telling you, we were 20 feet away from each other. I know I hit him. Would you just check him out, please? I think this guy's going to be a problem child on the field today." That's how you need to handle it. Be an adult in this situation. Don't hold yourself high and mighty because you're either wearing cameras, or you think your gun shoots laser beams, or because you're just a really good player. Because the guy who, I had the problem with on the field, or who had the problem with me, rather, I think I ended up playing with him a couple games later, and really nice guy. Super nice, really good player, too. Like, really good player. And there's probably a very good reason he thought he hit me, or did hit me, and I didn't feel it. I mean, he could have hit me in the flap of the pants as I was ducking back behind cover, and I never would have known. But don't diminish somebody else's quality of character because you think you're right on the field, especially over one BB. If you're shooting like an RPK, like Bill, you know, and you watch the amount of fire that an RPK or an LMG or any support lays down and hits a dude, and he just keeps moving, and you're like, what? At that point, get a field ref. Don't try to settle it, because that can become a very toxic environment on the field very quickly. And I think the toxic environment, saying that, leads us into our next topic of discussion, which is airsoft cheater videos.
But before we go into that, with the getting frustrated over one BB, something that's even stated in our field's rules: be prepared to get hit at least 10 times when you get hit. Because there's not just one BB. We're not running firearm projectile speeds.
Yeah.
So, like, every time I get hit, I'll feel, if you feel the first one, be prepared for anywhere between 5 to 10 more, depending on how fast someone can pull the trigger, if it's an SMG or an LMG running full auto, especially me.
I have a video where I literally called hit, and you hear in the video like 10 more BBs, pop, 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 like bouncing off my helmet and stuff. I was like, ow! Like, and it was him.
Yeah, and that's because that gun, I don't know about anybody else's rate of fire, but the SEMA RPK out of the box with a 7.4 runs anywhere between 9 to 12 rounds a second. So when he calls hit, with the delay of the speed of sound, I hear it a second later. But if he gets hit by that first one, anywhere from 8 to 11 more BBs are coming by the time I let go of the trigger. And they say that in the field rules. Don't get mad for overshooting. And there's one video I'll put out where it sounds like I get mad because I got shot a lot. No, I just got shot in places where it hurt, and a BB went up under my mask and hit me in the face, in the mouth. Yeah. So you can't get frustrated at things like that, because there's some people's trigger pull that is as fast as my RPK shoots full auto. And people with micro switch triggers and that.
And especially MOSFETs and all the technology that comes out. But, you know, don't get mad at other players. Don't diminish their honor because you think you're better than them. That really puts a toxic environment into the field and just into the community in general. And I'm really glad that you brought that point up too, because overshooting, there are people that complain about overshooting. I've actually heard people complain about that when the field rules are getting ready. Like, oh great, God, it's going to be one of those fields. And we don't even have a full auto field. Like, I have a video explaining our field rules for what guns are allowed auto, what guns aren't. There are only 2 platforms that are allowed full auto. They have to follow certain guidelines in order to do it. Everything else is either semi-automatic, with or without engagement distances, or snipers or bolt action. But let's go into the cheater videos.
Yeah.
So I needed a hobby to get back into because I needed something to do so I wouldn't lose my mind. Well, I like to research things. And I said, well, hey, I played airsoft when I was a kid. Wonder if that's even still around. It sounds dumb now, I get it, but so I start looking up videos, and the top gameplay videos to come up were cheater videos, and I was almost like, wow, I would see some gameplay here, and then cheaters, and I was like, oh my god, cheater rages while cheating, cheat rages, ref catches, cheater cheating, raging, rage cheating. It's true. Tell me how many videos you see with titles.
I know it's true.
Yeah, but that might be the video title for this. I might have to watch that a lot, and
oh god,
I might have to meme the hell out of this. But
the video where runner loses his mind and does a clickbait title.
Oh my god,
the end is nigh.
Yeah, clickbait title. But how many videos are like that? And I got to a point where I was like, oh my. First of all, cheater videos. I was like, wow, there's a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of guys out there, like, and it really comes across as like super narcissistic. Okay, so I suck at deleting videos off of my camera, so they stop of the way through, which is why I have videos coming out that have no helmet camera. Yay! Because those are exciting to watch a lot of me and some zoom cam. Anyway,
speaking of narcissistic.
Yeah. Speaking of narcissism, welcome to Runner Airsoft.
But look at that face.
I'm gonna punch you. But when you have people out there posting videos of how everybody's a cheater, and those are the most popular airsoft videos, which should really say something about our community. Which what that says is we like watching videos of people who think that they're better than other players. And in many cases, instead of handling it properly on the field and going about their day, they make it their whole video. There are very few airsoft channels that I have subscribed to that will do cheater videos that I'll still like turn on and let them play and just walk away because I like the channel. I like the people who do it. I don't necessarily support those videos, but I support them, so I try to give them the watch minutes. But it's such a huge thing in the airsoft culture that, well, we see cheater videos on YouTube, and all the popular people that we like watching on YouTube do them, so it must be okay for us to call people out on the field as well. And I don't think it is. I think it's really bad for our community, and especially when those are the most popular videos out there and the most watched. How can you not think anybody in airsoft is honorable at all? Like, how do you even think that anybody is? Like,
it's like those instant karma videos you see on YouTube all the time. I think people are more like enjoy watching haha you deserve that videos constantly. And it does set a bad example, because just people, like, when people look up airsoft and, like he said, the majority of the first videos are cheater this, cheater that, most people will go, this isn't for me if everyone's a cheater and doesn't play right. And then, even though airsoft has gained a ton of popularity since the last time you and I played.
Oh, God. Yeah.
If it wasn't, like, I know there's got to be people out there that see these videos and go, well, this is a shit show, and never get into it. And people that wanted to and then don't. So.
I almost didn't. I have a blast now. I have met so many great people. Kind, really nice people. Guys that have helped me build up gear because they're like, hey, I have extra stuff I'm not using, and you're a really cool dude, and you've helped me out do this, or help me out do that, or whatever. Here's some gear. Let me help you out. Let me help you build this up. People that come up to me, dude, your channel's really fun. It's really cool. Like, I love the announcer voice that you do, and like, what guns do you run? And it's really nice for me to go out and meet people. I don't like to meet people. I'm just not that type of person, and airsoft puts me out of my element and makes it enjoyable for me to meet people. And I never would have been able to experience that had I not finally found some gameplay videos that I just stumbled across, finally, that weren't all about cheaters. And that was a really big thing for me, is I finally found some channels that I liked that didn't post cheater videos every week or every other week, or even talk about them in every video. And I was able to go, wow, this looks like this could be what airsoft is. And I was like really hoping, like, cross my fingers, I hope this is what airsoft is. And guess what? Airsoft is not about cheaters. Airsoft is about a community of people coming together to have fun. And that's what I realized once I was able to get away from the cheater videos.
And if it wasn't for him finding those videos and posting them constantly and sharing them and stuff, and I watched it and realized how popular it was, but yeah, if it wasn't for those normal videos, I wouldn't have gotten back into it. I completely spaced out on it. I got really, I still am really into cars, but this is a fun hobby as well. It's definitely not as frustrating as cars. And I get out and exercise. And with my schedule, I drive a semi for a living. So throughout the week, I'm not home. Most weekends, I'm not home.
And no exercise on top of that.
Oh, yeah, God, no. I sit on my butt all day. But I don't meet people, period. But because of going out and hanging out with Airsoft, I'm meeting people, talking to people, making friends, getting recognized because of his videos. I got mistaken for you once. It's like, hey, are you runner? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, I recognize the gun. I'm like, most people do, but that's my friend. My gun is really recognizable.
It is.
And then I become a target.
So after I went and we had this issue at the field, I went around, and I'm going to circle back. I think we've definitely driven the point home about cheater videos. They're toxic to the community, and they need to stop. And players need to stop trying to handle them through YouTube. It's not good. It makes all of us look bad, and it does. And to circle back around to calling people out on the field, something I really wanted to bring up. So I put a post out apologizing on Facebook for not calling my hit because I felt really bad about it. Like I really did, and I posted up in a bunch of places. And I looked at the video footage, and like I said earlier, I couldn't find where he hit me, and I still feel bad for how I acted. Less apologetic about getting hit by a BB, I can't confirm because footage. And I was trying to hunt somebody down. Well, I got a message from somebody who is in a local Colorado Milsim team, and he shared some things with me and trying to help me find the player and just to help me out to pass along my apology. And he told me, he goes, our team goes to a lot of fields, and their team, it's gotten to the point, because they're really good. Like, they're really good. You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
Please don't say their name. And they're really good, and it's gotten to a point where when they go to a field, they've gotten to know the refs, and they have to go and ask the refs to follow them around and monitor them because they have all gotten called cheater so many different times just because they are ridiculously... I have played with them. I have played against them. I have shot them. They have shot me. They always call their hits when I shoot them. They always call their hits when I see other people shoot them. But I guess there are people who think that their guns, must communicate with NASA and have satellite-guided tracking system in their BBs because they think they're, super awesome and hit all the time. But this Milsim team has to ask the refs to follow them around, monitor how they're playing, so that when a player, not if, but when a player on the field that day calls them out for cheating, they can at least have somebody defending them. Why are we doing that? Why has Airsoft, why has it become so popular in Airsoft to call out cheaters and to make other people look worse than you are? That an entire team of really nice guys, of really good players, has to go up to the ref when they get to the field and ask to be watched so that way they can just avoid the situation when it comes up. Why is that a thing? This is what I'm talking about. You calling somebody else's hit, whether on YouTube or on the field, really ruins the game for people. It ruined my game. Could have just let it go, and the guy could have come up to me after the game and been like, dude, I thought I got you. Did you feel... Man, I didn't feel a hit. But instead, it was escalated. Why are we painting other people as cheaters? Why don't we treat other people the way that we want to be treated and be treated as honorable players? Are there cheaters? Well, yeah. There are just crap people in life. And you point those people out to the field refs and have them take care of it. At our field, you will get kicked out of the field. They won't let you back. That's almost a one and done offense. And I happen to know that the refs will play games purposefully and intentionally to basically put you in the limelight on the field because they don't like it at their field at all.
Yep. And
Milsim team?
No. But I might as well talk about that. Yeah, the second part of his curses video where we did hunt for curses. Once he left the field, the game continued for another almost 20
No,
15
dude, it was like 30 minutes.
The
After
three
Curses
peop-
Part 2, there was like 30, almost 40 minutes of play afterwards that I didn't realize.
The game got timed out because we didn't, once we got hit and we're on Curse's team, we didn't get everybody. The last 3 people were 3 members of that Milsim team, and it was just 3 of them hunkered down, and they held off damn near 10 and 15 of us. They are good. And I know they call their hits when they do. I know because I've talked to them too. But back to the cheater thing. You don't know that someone's not calling a hit. We were down in another field, the one down south. And I was getting bored with the way the game was going. So I rushed up front with my machine gun with a bunch of people with pistols and SMGs because I got tired of sitting there. But I was with these 2 other guys, and it's like, oh, these guys aren't calling their hit. You hit them. They're telling me that I hit somebody else. Well, yeah, I saw where my BBs were going. I'm not that blind. Any of you that have seen my videos know that I cannot see that well. I'm trying to fix that. But you don't need to tell me that I hit someone. And comes to find out, those people that we were shooting at heard them complaining. He found me at the end of the game. He goes, hey, just want to let you know, you did hit me. But all 3 of us had tourniquets. And I'm like, hey, I wasn't the one complaining. Everyone else was. I'm out here. It's like, we're out here to have fun. We're not out here to ruin someone else's day. Because, like he said, when not only do you get in a bad mood because you think somebody's cheating when you're like, no, this person doesn't blah, 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 blah. But think how that other person feels where they're out there just to have fun and they think they're calling everything they get, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and goes, hey, you're cheating, and you're like, wait, what? So they have to rethink everything. They're like, was I messing up? And they start overthinking everything, and it just ruins the whole mood for the whole day, because then you're just in a bad mood.
Well, and what if that person wasn't cheating? They just didn't feel a BB hit because it hits the flap of their jeans or it hits a backpack that's hanging out. And now that word starts to get spread around.
Yeah.
And now you take a person who, it's airsoft. We're not getting hit with 223. You know? Like, there's a chance
either.
you're not going to... Yeah, it ain't paintball. There's no visual indication. But now word gets around... And you start spreading word that that person is a cheater. And now you ruin that person's reputation.
Because God knows it'll spread like a high school rumor.
Yeah, because it's going to... It's going to spread like a high school rumor. This is toxic to our community. And I keep saying that, and I can't stress it. This is toxic to our community. We need to stop on... and off the field, calling other people's hits. If we have a problem, address it with a field marshal. If we have an issue with another player, say, hey man, get the field marshal and say, hey field marshal, I'd really like to talk to this player about that situation and just see how it could have turned out differently. That's what I should have done. I couldn't remember the guy's face after the game. Wasn't going to point him out because, like I said, I think he's a pretty damn good player and just a decent guy overall, you know, in my situation. But we have to stop treating everybody else that's not our friends like dishonorable players. Because the fact of the matter is at least for the fields I've been to, there's not a lot of cheaters. There's not. I've seen a couple of instances where dudes haven't called hits, and generally they get shot in a place that they don't realize it, or I watch BBs bounce off a wall, and then you put 2 more in them, they go, oh, you know, they don't realize the BB. I mean, guys, there are some guys that wear body armor, actual military grade, take a bullet to the chest body armor.
Or they weigh themselves down.
Yeah, I mean, we have to stop treating everybody else like they're not honorable, because it diminishes our honor on the field. It diminishes our quality of character. And if the other player's quality of character isn't important to you, keep putting cheaters on blast. Keep talking, keep trying to call other players hits. If your quality of character doesn't matter to you, keep doing that, because you're ruining somebody else's quality of character. You really are.
And another thing, back to the point of talking to the field marshal, say, like, you call someone a cheater out on the field and they're not. Now, in that player's head, you're just another asshole. Where if you go to the field marshal, they don't necessarily have to say who thought something was happening. So, even if you're not intentionally trying to be a dick, no one has to know.
And like at our field, had I pointed out the guy, there's a good chance they would have kicked him off the field or held him out of a few games. They do not like people calling other players hits. They're like, that is the most frustrating thing that we have, because we're trying to make everybody have a good time out here, and we're trying to avoid confrontation on the field, and we are trying to keep everybody at the same level. And when you get somebody out there who raises themselves above that, guess what? They're going to get rid of the person who thinks that they're better. And that's because they're like, no, we're the field marshals. We're the field. We enforce our rules, but you have to tell us.
And even the field marshals don't run with a holier-than-thou outlook.
No.
Which is refreshing.
No,
but
they don't at all. They don't let anybody get by it at all. Like, they don't let anybody get by those rules. And it's nice to see. They've called me on some things that I've done by accident on the field. Hey, watch your stuff. I see it again. You're going to go up there, and like a little kid, you're going to read all our field rules. And if you do it again, you're gone for the day. And they like me. And they're still that stern. I guess, in closing, let's wrap it up. We've been doing this a while. Bill, do you have any final things that you want to say?
Yeah. Something in my industry that I hear a lot with driving a truck, because I leave my CB radio on all the time. There is people just like here that complain about other people's driving. One day I got complained about my driving because it took a good 45 seconds for people to let me over, and I saw a little bit of gap and moved, and someone thought I cut them off. And one old timer chimed in the radio and said, I ain't never seen anybody that can drive two trucks at once. And that stuck with me. And I no longer complain about other people's driving unless somebody has malicious intent, which you can tell. But just don't assume that people are out there to cheat the system or, most people don't purposely try to be an a-hole. They don't. We're all out here just trying to have fun. And let's try to keep it that way for like the little kids and stuff that are playing out here too. I'm seeing more and more kids. And what impression do you want to leave on them? Do you want to leave, hey, this is awesome, I want to keep doing this, or
there's big scary people screaming on the field.
Yeah, everybody's really mean and yelling at each other. I don't want to do this anymore. And then the next thing, Airsoft's just going to be a bunch of us in our 40s playing around, complaining about our arthritis because nobody else is playing anymore.
Yeah.
And then the popularity of Airsoft goes down and the companies stop making cool guns, and then we all end up with M4s, and that's it. Nobody wants to see that. So we're trying to set an example.
Yeah. So the only thing that I'm going to say is this came from the guy from the Milsim team that spoke with me. And I think it's a good thing to leave it off on. I'll get to his quote here in a second. Moral of this: be honorable and treat other people like they're honorable. If you have a problem, get the field marshals and have them take care of it. Don't be the problem on the field or create a problem where there is none. And now to that quote, the guy told me, if you've never been called a cheater, you've never played Airsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Again, I am your runner.
And this is Bill from Project Mayhem.
And we will see you guys next time right here on Runner Airsoft.
Or on my channel.
Peace out.